Dhanyawad Yashaswini ji and namaste to all. Good morning. Vanakkam. This is a wonderful day, but somewhere the journey of last 2 days is coming to an end today afternoon. So before departing, we need to be more connected. And there is a role for the media, they said. However, this was just organized as the second part of the session that we enjoyed yesterday. And I was wondering, sitting there, listening to the heavenly music or Sangeet that was produced by none other than Ilaiyaraaja ji. And it was divine. That had taken over us and satisfied our mind, body, intellect, and Atman. We felt the energy that engulfed us all together and could experience that. And yet, and Yashaswini ji rightly said, that the media, that the outer world talks about, or the other world talks about, is just the adhibhautik part of that, the physical part of that people look at. And this is something that transcends the boundaries of countries, states, race, caste, and everything that can be created by us, the human beings, human society. And rightly so, there is a verse which says, Shishurvetti, Pashurvetti, Vetti Gana Rasam Phanihi. It's the music, the Sangeet transcends not only the human beings, not only the kids, the just born babies, or to be born babies, or beyond that, it also brings together the animal world, including the serpentine one. That's the power of Sangeet. And of course, this started out of the Tandava Shiva did, and all the letters and the swaras, swara, tala, laya, all flowed out of that damaru. It is that we have inherited. It has the power to go across. So with that, I of course salute the great musician and come to the topic. But then there is a little of background. Like yesterday, a scholar mentioned about the world historian Arnold Toynbee, who visited Bharat, who was in India for a couple of years, studied India, went back. And one of his comments is worth understanding. Every Western beginning will have to have an Indian ending if we wish to save the human race from disaster. And this tells us the all. I roam various countries, talk to the local people, interact with them. And Southeast Asian countries are special in my heart. They have a special place. And in one of my soyons, I met a professor who smilingly said, India has orphaned us. I was taken aback. Hey, this is something I need to understand. And asked, but how come that? What you are doing, this is in Cambodia, after I visited Shyam and the Angkor Wat, I was in Cambodia, Cambodian capital, Phnom Penh. And The gentleman says, you see, we don't need your money. We don't need your trade. We don't need your technology. The IT professions, we don't need. What we need is your culture, your society. But how did it happen? Yesterday we were listening to Shantanu Gupta, who was talking about Ramayana in so many countries. Observe one thing. And this also happened through another experience. I was in Mama, in Mandale, and beyond that, the villagers and the monks. And I was talking to them and I asked them a question. Where was Buddha born? Gautam Buddha, where was he born? Everybody says, the farmer says, he was born in Myanmar, Burma. The monk says, he was born in Burma. In Thailand, it's the same story. How does this happen? How does this happen? Look at the faces of Sri Rama that were shown yesterday, the Thai Ramayana or Indonesian Ramayana or Japanese Ramayana. The face features of Sri Rama are local. Our ancestors, the seers and sages, who walked around the world, did not suppress anybody, did not exploit anybody, did not defeat anybody to be conquerors. We won their hearts. It was the language of love. It was the language of Adhyatma. The traders and the kings who traveled abroad carried the message of the culture. Never tried to destroy local civilizations. Rather, enriched them on the other hand. So that's the mantra for all of us. That's the mantra for all of us. Don't impose yourself. Have the humility. Keep the ego aside. All our Mahatmans keep telling us that we should conquer that. And that's how the humility works. And today, wherever the diaspora is there, I will be talking about a little, but diaspora is there, least conflict creating diaspora. There are some, there will be, not beyond that. Because we understand the local culture better. The diversity, the vividhata mein ekata within Bharat is so humongous that you feel and you experience right from your childhood that we have to live the diversity. Not talk diversity, don't profess diversity, live diversity. And that's how this happened. So wherever Indians go, not today, since Vedic times, they valued diversity, they understood the local culture, they also jailed with them and then enriched them. That's because our ancestors set a goal for all of us, for all the generations to come, the Sanatana that we all live with. And they said, Krunvanto Vishwamaryam. Let us ennoble the whole world. It's not only Hindus, it's not only Bharatiyas, it's not only some population, part of the population, it's the whole world. And that's the goal we carry. So that flag of the culture has to be carried on. And that's where we have a role. But then who will do that? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we'll talk, we'll define, we'll understand the verses, go into the depths of our scriptures to understand all the dimensions of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Firstly, we need to leave the family. Kutumbakam, second part. I know I travel to the USA, I travel to the Western countries, and there will be every year number of conferences on family. So they talk a lot, but don't leave. So that's where the problem is. Can we then stand up, live with all diversity, within the family also, and tell the world, look, here's a way. One who cannot live within the family cannot live with the whole of society, with diverse people. It starts there. So we need to work on that. But our ancestors not only have shown the principles or given us handed over the principles, they have played their role so judiciously, so well, so, went beyond the borders in all senses. So I use a term, it's sanyogi se aave. These are the words, the letters that help us take the message outside. It's sanyogi se aave, sound for Sangeet that we enjoyed last evening. And everybody could feel, yes, this is something that we have a treasure which can be shared globally with anyone, anybody, anywhere. It's like that. The second, of course, is yoga. Yoga, sanyogi. And that's where everybody is talking about. You said before 2015, and my co-panelist, Vibhutiji will tell you more about this. Before 2015, I used to visit the Western countries, and I was a worried man. I was a rather scared man, in the sense, there were Chinese yoga clubs. There were Thai yoga studios. There were Japanese yoga studios. There were Korean yoga studios. And one of the gentlemen from Bharat even went to the extent that he patented a yoga posture in his name. और महर्षि पतंजलि का क्या हुआ किसी को पता ही नहीं फिर. Where Maharishi Patanjali says that this jnana, this wisdom is not my own, this has descended to me from generations earlier. The seers and sages did that penance and handed over this to me, and I carry on. He doesn't own it. He doesn't own it. And yet, so I was scared, man. ये कैसा होगा? After 50 years and 100 years or 100 years, nobody will talk of Bharatiya yoga, Indian yoga, yoga itself, but they will call it a Chinese, a Thai, a Korean, a Japanese. How will happen? However, 2015, the Prime Minister did the magic and resolved. I really feel elated, delighted to state that the whole world accepted that. And the art or the science and even inner technology through yoga has been now established as a Bharatiya. But then we can take pride, but then it need not run into ego. That's the second part. The third is Gita, Bhagavad Gita. I did not lecture because you are Chinmaya Mission, and I have listened to the Swamiji's lectures as a young boy and rejoiced that. How much did I understand? I don't know. But that was the day, that was the age that, and it even then was elevating. So Swamiji carried the message of, our Chinmaya Mission even carries the message of Bhagavad Gita, so no more explanations needed. Then seva, sanyogi se, seva. Seva is unique, something unique. And this term, seva, can be can be spread. The message of seva, it's selfless. The very usage, selfless seva, is totally wrong. Seva itself is selfless. When we serve somebody else, we look to the divinity within that person and serve. Swami Vivekananda says, why are you looking after the gods who are 7 heavens above? See the gods who are standing within. So it's like that, seva, and stands for Adhyatma as well as Ayurveda. No explanation needed, Veda. The last one, no explanation needed. So it's like that these are the word terms which empowers us to take the message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam across the world. Media, of course, plays the role. The way they are presently. Of course, the social media has helped a lot in bringing up many issues that were never discussed or posted on the media otherwise. It might be print media, it might be social media, it might be television media, video media, or whatever that might be. We missed all that, and we have an opportunity to spread the message and be all over there using that technology, using the spread of the technology in spreading our message. However, it should not be a message alone. The way our ancestors spread, there were no phones, there were no communications of that sort that we are living, and yet the message has been all over. I have traveled in many parts of the world. Yesterday, we listened to Joseph Ji and Paul Ji and Joseph Ji. And I met an Australian scholar, a professor, retired professor, who moved out of Sydney some 50 miles. And I was talking to them. He says, my ancestors came from Bharat. And he says, his name is something like a Haryana surname, Sehrawat. So it was like that. So it's like that. And I'll share a last experience, how it happens. There was a scholar a Yoruba scholar, who is now from Trinidad. We were walking early in the morning. This was 2003, January 28th. Before the sunset, we started strolling on the banks of Gangaji. And all of a sudden, as the sun was rising, Baba Samful Loris says, Shyam, hold on. We were 25 of us from some 10, 12 countries. He looks at the sun and he said, I need to pray Mother Ganga. It took me back. The Yorubas respect rivers, waters, like the Bhartiyas. And there are all the world's, the ancient traditions lived with a common message. The whole creation is divine. This is Mother Earth. The whole creation is divine. Look at the divinity amongst them. Respect them. And that message has to be passed on globally and bring all these our sahayogis together. There is a vast majority across the world. They might be the New Zealand Aborigines from Australia. They might be from the Fiji, they might be from the Southeast Asia, Asia, Central Asia, or the Druids from the Europe, or the Amerindians from the Americas. They all love or respect nature. They worship nature and the Mother Earth. They also worship, like us, the Agni, and do the puja, ayagya, like we do, in a little different ways. So all of them can be invited together, and they form, apart from our diaspora, which is a great resource to spread the message. And beyond the media, all these resources need to be engaged. Thank you very much for listening to me. Dhanyavad and pranams.